So everybody loves to talk about Nvidia when they talk about AI stocks, which makes sense. AI has basically become the prom king of the stock market at this point. But today, I want to talk to you about another company sitting right in the middle of the AI boom, Micron Technology. And honestly, it is not a very exciting company. They make memory chips. That's it. No robots, no humanoids, no self-driving cars, no CEOs promising to colonize Mars. Just memory. And that might actually be why it's an exciting opportunity. So let's dive into it. Every AI model needs two things. First, it needs a powerful GPU. Second, it needs a fuckload of memory. So think of it this way. Nvidia builds a race car. Micron supplies the fuel tank. And it turns out those fuel tanks are getting a lot bigger every single day. So as companies race to build larger AI models, they're buying massive amounts of high bandwidth memory, or HBM as the cool kids like to call it. This is one of the fastest growing segments in the semiconductor industry, and Micron is one of only a handful of companies capable of producing it at this scale, which is important because demand is absolutely exploding. Microsoft is spending billions, Amazon is spending billions, Meta is spending billions, Google's spending billions. You get it. And all these companies, what do they need? They need more memory, and a freaking lot more of it. Now, this is where things get kind of weird. Historically, memory has been a terrible business. I get that. Demand goes up. Everyone builds factories. Supply floods the market. Prices collapse. Investors panic. Then a few years later, the cycle starts all over again, kind of like crypto. It's basically the same people who swear they're going to get in shape every January, like myself. The intentions are good. The execution is mixed at best. But AI may be changing that cycle, which is tough to say that this time is different. But for the first time in years, demand appears strong enough to absorb a huge amount of new supply. The biggest technology companies in the world are spending hundreds of billions of dollars building AI infrastructure, not because they want to, because they feel like they have to. And nobody wants to be the company that explains to investors why they lost the AI race. And all of that spending eventually works its way back to companies like Micron. That's why Micron's earnings story has become so incredibly compelling. A few years ago, investors were worried about oversupply and collapsing margins, but today the conversation is whether demand for advanced memory can stay elevated for years. And that is a very different problem to have. The other thing about Micron is it's not selling dreams. It's selling products to real people, to real customers, generating real revenue. There's no slide deck promising to change the world by 2040. They're selling memory chips, which sounds boring and is boring until you realize those memory chips are helping power one of the biggest technology revolutions in decades. Now let's talk risks, because there are definitely risks. This is still a semiconductor company. Those words alone should make you slightly to very uncomfortable. Competition remains fierce. Supply could eventually catch up. AI spending could slow. Those are all real possibilities. And Wall Street has a long history of taking a great company and turning it into a very expensive stock. That happens frequently. We see it every single day. So, which, for the record, the bull, anyway, I have lost my train of thought, but the bull case remains kind of straightforward. AI needs memory. More AI means more memory. Micron is one of the few companies capable of supplying that memory at scale. It's not a complicated story. Sometimes the best investments aren't that complicated. Now, does that mean Micron is guaranteed to perform? Of course not. If I knew that, I wouldn't be freaking making YouTube videos. I'd be recording this from a yacht while pretending to answer emails. But when I look at the AI ecosystem, Micron stands out as one of the most important companies that doesn't always get the attention it deserves. It's not a celebrity. It's not the headline act. It's more like the guy backstage making sure the concert actually happens. It's not glamorous, but it's still essential. Anyway, the bull case for Micron. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just a dude on YouTube. This is not financial advice. This video is terrible. It's the first one I'm making, so give me a little grace here. But tune in if I ever make another one.